Good morning and welcome to today's live whatever monthly expiry. And now today I will not track the Fin Nifty, but I will be tracking the Nifty, Bank Nifty, and Midcap Nifty. So now coming to the market has just opened, and Midcap Nifty is positive. In fact, yesterday in yesterday's trading session, while I was providing updates to clients, I focused more on the mid-cap Nifty. I initially more focused on the mid-cap Nifty and Bank Nifty, but then after that I shifted primarily to the mid-cap Nifty as it was the smoothest, and I think a similar trend might continue today. Now, coming to today's trading session, how I'm looking at it is basically that as long as we are between this zone in the Nifty, so this support and this resistance, so this zone, we are not going to get anything significant. It's all going to be all over the place. It's basically going to be sort of a no man's land. On the other hand, for the Bank Nifty, it is this zone to this zone. Within this is a no man's land. You're not going to get a clean long or clean short. You have to trade dual ways. Thirdly, for the mid-cap Nifty, this, as it has opened above this range, it's something that will have to be watched more closer. I'm not going to run into option sells or option buys in this expiry, only for one primary reason, that the indexes have opened in a very, I would say, crude manner. In fact, yesterday I had even told clients that I was hoping that we do not open with a gap, as that sort of messes up the options, plus it also messes up the initial trading plan. Now, for a clearer view on, let's say, the Nifty, for example, I'm not plopping on the levels right on the screen yet, and I want to first discuss it, then I will see about plopping or not. Now, there is an important resistance at 24,380 to 23,450. Now, according to me, if you're an aggressive option seller, then you can sell calls above that zone. However, if you're a cautious option seller, then you go and sell above 24,650. That's how I'm looking at it. On the other hand, on the PE sell side, there's an important support at 24,180, but there's a more important support at 24,080. So according to me, if you're an aggressive option seller, you can sell puts below 24,080, so basically 24,050 and below. And if you're cautious, then you can go and sell below 23,870. Now, it is a wide range, but it is what the market is right now. The market right now is trying to find its footing, I would say. And due to that, the range gets built up like that. Then when we come to the Bank Nifty, now the Bank Nifty is opened slightly below one of its supports at 55,350, which me and clients are using. But now it has another very important support at 55 or 150, and then it has a support at 54,960 and 54,800. So now, according to me, in fact, before I go, let me cover the resistance zones. Now, there's a sort of a resistance which forms a ceiling at 55,600, as like I highlighted blindly that this is, but the quant resistance is one at 55,600, then one at 55,800, and then one at 55,920. So how I'm looking at it, if you're an aggressive option seller, on the call sell side, I would say you go and sell above 55,920. Why I'm going so far away in the Bank Nifty is simply the Bank Nifty has a bigger range. You can move. If you're cautious, then 56,250 and above. On the P sell side, if you're an aggressive option seller, I would say 54,800 and below. Cautious, 54,480 and below. Now, I know today I'm completely going outskirts than I usually do. Like if the Sensex expiry video, which I had done, I had not gone outskirts to that scale, but I'm doing so in the Nifty and Bank Nifty this expiry, because the range is right now, if we look at the markets as a whole, from when it has started, in the past few sessions, the up move has largely been due to short covering. Because when I look at the volume data, there is nothing really significant that has happened that prompted this kind of an up move. So the up move has primarily been based on short covering. So today, the sort of that game of the short covering ends, because most people will have entered options of this expiry. So today their book's gonna have to naturally close. Due to that, today I expect a lot of push and pull. So it's better if you're gonna sell options, you get out of the way and sell a wider range, and that will end up saving you a lot of pain. Now coming to the mid-cap Nifty. As I said, I'm focusing on Nifty, Bank Nifty, and Midcap Nifty. Now coming to the Midcap Nifty, according to me, as long as there is an important resistance number at 12,340 and 12,420. We can see we roughly went to the 12,340. 12,340 is here. We gapped up to the 12,340 resistance and then faulted there. So 12,340 and 12,420 are very important resistance zones. If we clear this, then we can go to 12,550 and 12,600. On the other hand, there's an important support at 12,120, but due to the gap, we have ended up going way above, and the important support now has shifted to roughly 12,220 rupees. So call sells and P sells, according to me, if you're an aggressive CE seller, you have, I would say 12,550 and above. Again, I'm going out of the way, and aggressive PE seller, then 12,120 and below. That is how I am looking at it. If you're cautious, then 12,040 and below P cells and 12,600 and above P cells. I'm preferring to take a wider range, simply due to how the market is currently performing. If you look at the Nifty and Bank Nifty, we have basically gone and ended up the opening bar, and then just we are trading within the first opening bar in the 5 minutes. In the Bank Nifty, we are doing the same. We are trading within the first opening bar. In the Midcap Nifty, we are trading within the first opening bar. So that push and pull is going to be going on. In a second, I'm just entering my trades also. Yeah. So according to me, for option sellers, you can enter now. I'm starting to enter slowly, but option buying, let it at least break beyond the candles range in a clean fashion. In fact, let's drop the time frame to pretty slow. So and another thing, when I'm looking at it right now in terms of where it is, the Bank Nifty is the one that it's really going to have to prove its mantle once it reaches this point. Let me try to find something I can use sort of like a highlighter. Yeah, I hope everyone can see this red blob on the screen. Yes. Now, basically, the Bank Nifty will really have to prove its mantle here. This is a very strong resistance zone, and even we have the 200 moving average as resistance. We have this former basically support, which is now sort of acting as a former resistance, playing into effect, and the trend catcher. Whether we look at these are two separate indicators. It's hovering below zero, so it's gonna basically intertwine and try to find its direction as the day goes along. That's how I'm looking at it. But so far, option buys, I will not enter a trade yet. Option sell, okay, but option buys not yet. Option sell, as I had said, the cautious and aggressive, which I shared earlier. It's again a slow, very slow start according to me. And that is the reason I was hoping that we don't have a gap. In fact, I had even told clients yesterday, I hope we do not have a gap in any sort. That kicks the mojo out. Banknifty wants to go towards this, but this is going to be a real test. We blast through this, then that's a big positive. Also, do pay note that the one thing which will help the Bank Nifty today is Axis Bank's results coming out, and due to ICCI results being good, people will be having hopes of Axis being good too. In fact, actually, I think the past few sessions have moved up well, and this is due to the expectations everybody had over the results. We are still trading within the first bar, even on the 4 minute, roughly. Bank Nifty has got on the first bar, but it is in this range, and this range I won't do option buying. It's not worth the risk. And another thing, option buying, which I would do today, I will not use the options expiring today, but I'll end up using the options which are expiring in the coming sessions. The reason I'm doing that way is simply because of I do not want, like right now we're having stagnation in Nifty, Midcap Nifty, okay, Bank Nifty together will be getting a bit of a less stagnation because it's trying to go to the top there, but you're gonna start hammering in decay a good amount of capital. So it's not worth it. Go to next week's series for Nifty and go to the monthly series for Bank Nifty, Fin Nifty, Midcap Nifty. I'm not covering Fin Nifty here. Like you cannot. I don't want to overextend myself in the indexes. I want to focus on. I basically like I'm tracking 3 here, but if the trades I'm putting out on option buy, I will only enter 2 at a time. Option sell, okay, I will enter 3 because the risk is lower according to me. Now, when I'm looking at Bank Nifty, there are certain charts you will not be able to see on the thing on the screen because so I've kept it on this tab and I can't switch tabs that easily. Bank Nifty, if we take a look at it on the 15-minute chart, it is basically, even on the 15-minute, it's got a 50-day moving average resistance at 55, 538.90, and then the quant resistance at 55,600. So it's going to be a task. If Bank Nifty clears this, then it will end up lifting all the indexes. That's how I look at it. Slow start. Good for option sellers, not good for option buyers. They're still trading within the range. In fact, I'll do this one thing. I will get the highlighter out again. Can I change the highlighter color? I don't know if I can change the highlighter color. I'm going to try to change the highlighter color so I can provide. Yes, this is darker. So this is the zone at which this has to get out of for me to consider an option buy. Midcap Nifty is this to this. Bank Nifty this hold because I just do not think it's worthwhile touching it. There. I said I'm not rushing into trading this. I've put a few option cells, like which I had recommended earlier, at the start of the video, and after that, I'm now sitting patiently and giving the indexes the time to iron the differences out. Look, I told you, look, if somebody had ended up shorting the Nifty, here, this bar, they would have just ended up basically going to this bar and then coming back. Normal day it would have been break even, but if they're using today's options, so they'll be in a good loss. So simply today's expiry. That's why option buy, wait for the range and use next week's options. Slow trading session. Also, do pay attention to one thing. I zoom into the Nifty. Now that the Nifty also has, I'm looking at simple price action here only. It has an important support at this zone. It's crossing across, so it's sort of matching to that. It has another important support at this zone. And so if you look at it in that point of view, if it were to break this by chance, then it will go. First attempt is here. Second attempt, this is if you don't have the levels. The levels naturally will give you a clearer picture as to which hit to take, as all have seen the accuracy of them and how well they do. Let's say my advice to stick out of option buys of this expiry and option buying until now. Here, anyone who did would have lost money for no reason. Nifty is fighting back in a good way. It's time to start trading options. Which out of the three is the easiest, I think, to make money in via option buying? In my point of view, it is the Midcap Nifty. It's the easiest to make a profit in from option buying. Sorry for the sound, it's just this other computer. I put option cells on another computer and I put option buys on another computer. I keep them completely separate. Getting out of the range. Now, as I said, Nifty key resistance of quant is at 24,380. Should I share the tab with the levels actually? Because I wanted to do this way, so it's covering the price action more. Oh shit! I entered more than I wanted. The one's trading with Kotak, which is a bit slow. Or I do option buy via Kotak, and I can see that it is sort of rolling the bar. It's not entering the orders as fast as it should. I said 24,380. 24,380 is here. We basically reached 24,360 here. Got a rejection. So it's not going to be that easy to trade this range. To zoom in. Kotak is a bit slow today in punching in orders. According to me, the authorities governing these brokers, they need to actually start taking action on these guys whenever there's an issue like this or slowness, because that is only when things will come in order. I think I'll put the levels one here. Also share this tab instead. I think everyone's thing should have modified. You should be seeing a new tab, not the old one. Yes, you should be seeing a tab with a lot of levels and all. I'll zoom out so now if you look at it in this point of view with the levels, uh, you can see how it reached the 12,340 high. Midcap Nifty and got smashed. Banknifty went to 55,600, nearly touched it and then got smashed. Nifty 24,380 and ended up getting smashed there. So expect that push and pull to continue as the thing tries to find its footing. Midcap Nifty options are pretty cheap right now for how they usually are. Let's go back to a lower time frame. I want to watch reset chart here. Let's see. Things go. Go back to this tab now. Switch tabs again. Now, a simple example, I always say in the pre-market videos that put stops. For example, now the option cells entered a bit after open, which when we were discussing levels and I was saying I'm entering option cells. Now I've already modified them to a small, tiny profit stop. So whatever happens, I know I'll be able to cover costs and make a tiny profit as things go along. So that's how I'm looking at it. How do I delete that? The range boundness continues. Nifty is near the bottom of this candle. That's quite a interesting spot. It's a spot of bother. And if we look at the 15-minute chart of the Nifty, Banknifty and Midcap Nifty, the Nifty does not have a very attractive candle. It's got 58 seconds to finish. I do keep switching between the time frames so as to that gives me the gist of how things are going. I will now sitting on 15 minutes because I want to see how that candle closes. 40 seconds left to that candle. Now a simple trick is look if we this resistance zone. Can I change to another? This is a high. I'm going to change to another color if I can. I'll change to red. Right. This and this. If you look at this, sort of similar tops. So now what I'm going to end up doing is you basically use this on expiry days to exploit and start selling more calls above this zone. This is going to be an important high as we have crossed it and this candle is sort of solidified. It's been etched into the picture. Going down. But technically, all three are still roughly in the opening range. Manage your position. So far, boring expiry. You cannot get excitement in the first 1 hour, then the rest of the day until 2 most likely be very boring. Now I know a lot of you will be looking at the OI option change and all. I would suggest you don't do that. That has been perfected in India as people sell a lot of stuff based on OI analysis, but OI analysis does not work as the guys with the bigger capital trading will know that it's very easy to create OI in India. So do not fall for that trick, especially a few Bengali traders who sell a lot of OI stuff. Everything of them, there's OI, which does not work. They're giving a bad name to the community. Going live has shown me one thing. Somehow on X, Twitter, you end up getting a lot more interaction on the lives than on YouTube. I wouldn't have expected that. Push and pull continues. Now let's quickly take a look at Axis Bank actually. I will load it on another tab and since Banknifty is not moving much, I'll load it in Banknifty's place for just now. You want to look at the futures or spots? 1 second. I want to do first thing one. A slow trading session. I was wondering why I am also, when I recommended options at the beginning, why I've taken a very wide range. Is if we look at the index Bank Nifty in the bigger picture, in the bigger picture, so we're covering a few trading sessions. This has been a complete box range. Range top, range bottom. So we have technically traded within this zone from Monday. We have been just hovering this full week within this zone. So due to that, that's why I chosen to take call cells and P cells, which I recommended earlier, a bit further away, even on the aggressive front, because if we plop above or below this zone, we're going to get a very big move. I don't want to be fighting the indexes at that point. Smooth trading session. I said that today that anyone who did option buys with today's options, I said don't do it. Look, this zone up down, this all is up down. You'll have lost money in a big way already. I'm sitting with option buys in next week's, and I'm not having an issue because I'm not trying to rush it. Sideways moves continues. So far, it's turning out like Tuesday, which was purely an option seller's day. Option sellers are making easy returns. I was just surprised by the returns they're making. The decay is actually somehow kicking in pretty fast. So it's a good. I said even to clients, and I said even at the beginning of this video today, a push and pull will be there. A lot push and pull is going on. Midcap Nifty has not broken out of its first price bar of the day. Nifty has technically attempted to it broke out, attempted to do a run and got slammed by the resistance which I had shared earlier of the quant 24,380. Bank Nifty is still within the zone which I had highlighted. The market open. If we are to have a breakout, I think the most likely breakout for upside would be the Midcap Nifty. Second would be Bank Nifty trying to reach this top of the box range, basically 5,900, and then third is the Nifty in success rate, according to me. On the downside, if you were to have the highest success rate is Nifty, and then Midcap, then Bank Nifty. Very slow start. Today, one of the biggest gainers again is IndusInd Bank. IndusInd Bank, according to me, is doing well for now, but it's something I don't think in investors or equity investors should bother with, because sooner or later this stock is going to come down hard, and I'm waiting for that moment to make my money on it. So until then, I'm going to sit and watch, wait for it to have its weakness, and then take a hit at it. Position, call sells basically. I want it to rise first. Like today, it's gone up in a good way. Then the opportunity will arise. I believe Hindustan Unilever is even releasing its results today. I think that's moving slowly. Let me share another tab. I believe the tab has switched on your screens also. Hindustan Unilever, let's find HUL. If I look at it in terms of a daily chart, it's very simple. There's an important resistance anyone can say at the 200-day moving average. But if you want to go to quants and make things interesting, then let me just calculate the levels. Second. Now, HUL actually has one important resistance at 2,470, where it really touched today. If it breaks that, then 2,540 and 2,580 on the upside. On the downside, basically, if we take this an hourly chart look, on the downside, until it is above this zone, things are going to be okay for HUL. So basically, right now, the trade is between this and this. It breaks this, it goes to 2,540 and 2,580. It breaks below this, it comes back to 2,343. Very simple trade. Next, let's take a quick look at Axis Bank. Quick gander, since it has its results coming up today. I had covered Axis Bank at some point, apparently. It's how I look at Axis Bank. If it breaks the high of 1,240, it can do a up move until 1,295. If it breaks that, then it can do a bigger look. Sorry, before 1,295, there's also a resistance at 1,268, then 1,295. Breaks all of that. Then a lot of resistance between 1,340 to 1,360. That's my view for Axis. On the upside, if this is only if it breaks this top part, yeah. Let's go back to the indexes. This is turning out to be a very boring session for option buyers. Good for the option sales, bad for option buyers. Both Bank Nifty spot and Bank Nifty future are literally exactly at 0% right now. I've seen a comment. Karthik is saying it can go to 24,400 to 24,450. What I would say first, let it get out of this zone. And I know Karthik personally. He loves to trade the options of today's today's expiry. Don't stick to Nifty's next week options. Right now, option buyers are not going to get their fair share because right now it's purely an option seller's market. We're sticking within this range here. We're sticking within this range here. We're sticking within this range here. So go to next week options for option buyers and let it sort of decide it wants to reclaim the range, and also let the trend catcher indicators give a bit of a clearer direction with the volume build-up. Slow trading, very slow trading session. That's why I'm keeping quiet, because sit and watch. Nifty is not forming the nicest of patterns here right now. Drop the time frame. It's not forming the nicest of patterns. No point. But today, as I'd even earlier said, it's more of a scalping, because if you look, break of this takes us to first 24, 230. If you look at simple price action. So I said this zone is to patiently wait for option buyers not to enter. Let's switch to the levels tab. One more clarity. I'm realizing there's a bit of a lag, or I think about 10 seconds, from what I'm streaming on the screen and from what is being seen by everyone. I'm going to try to resolve that in the upcoming lives. Midcap Nifty is wiki. Let's put this. Funny thing, I said I put the trades. Nifty and Banknifty are giving a very good. They gave Midcap Nifty not so much. And I had said earlier that the first one, which highest probability of going up in a clean manner, is Midcap Nifty. Highest probability of going down in a clean manner is Nifty. So all those watching the live, now take a gander at Midcap Nifty. As if it clears 12,340, it can try to do a sprint to 12,420. Nifty is lagging behind. Bank Nifty lagging. These are completely in a boxes. And I think that is why Midcap Nifty is able to perform better in the past few sessions, according to me, is there less money in it in terms of volume. I mean, most of the money in expiry trading is going and focusing on Nifty and Bank Nifty. So Midcap Nifty is sort of getting less noise of retail participation, which is why it's able to give cleaner moves. This expire and all expires. Usually, I've noticed that Midcap Nifty, if you start trading it, about 2 weeks before the expiry, monthly expiry. The trades come very easy in the midcap because of simply the fact that a lot of people are now the big boys, not the retail, are coming into Midcap Nifty. Why I'm saying only 2 weeks and not from the beginning of this thing? Because at the beginning of the thing, the Midcap Nifty options are always very expensive. So due to that, it's better to go, let's say like May is starting. May's first 2 weeks, I will hardly trade the Midcap Nifty in option buying. I will trade it in the last 2 weeks in option buying. The first 2 weeks, I'll focus on Nifty and Bank Nifty. In the last 2 weeks, I'll focus on Midcap Nifty and option buying more than I'll focus on Nifty and Bank Nifty. Option selling, you can do all at all times. Option buying, this trick. Bank Nifty is still literally at 0%. Spot and future. Breaking news that security forces engage hiding terrorists in gunfight 2 days after Pahalgam attack. This is a developing story. If the security forces do come out and say that they have got the guys, that will send the market up. That's a news which a lot of people will be waiting for. because when I look at it, yesterday the actions which were taken, the Indus Water Treaty being paused, Atari border shut and all, they're not really stern actions. Because I was watching a Bloomberg video in the morning about this Indus Water Treaty issue, is gravity pulls the water more towards the east, which is eastern rivers, which are controlled by, which are going to mainly Pakistan. So, and the issue on the Indian side is there's not enough water storage built to the this shutdown of the Indus Water Treaty will cut some water when they start diverting, but it will not be a death blow in is what I'm meaning. That news which I just said of the army doing that, you can see its reaction already starting. All of a sudden, the price bars have gone a bit whitish. And let's go back to this tab. I said if the more that news is played, the higher likelihood that there will be positivity coming because of only one reason. People want those guys who did the terrorist attack dead. That news basically was that quick money coming in, and let's see if it materializes. Because if it doesn't materialize, then that will end up causing these guys to all of a sudden exit because an opposite side move. Just plugging in trades here on, I think, portfolio positions. Now, when sudden news comes in, that is when, okay, even today's options can end up helping because it's sudden, but and you're not gonna hold it for more than a few minutes. Otherwise, you can see today my view that do not stick to today's options. It was a very wise for option buyers. Option sellers obviously stick to today's options. Hindustan Unilever net profit falls 3.7% to 2464 crore. Rupees 24 per share final dividend declared. Okay, let us quickly put a fourth thing here because I want to put HUL. And just for everybody to see, I'm going to load it on my other screens also, which I use to pull trades. As I said, look at I said the Midcap Nifty was the easiest to make money on the upside. I had most must have heard a tick when that's when I had entered Midcap, and you can see how it's already doing the options doing very well. Okay. Now I've already going to put a stop. And that's why at that point I had said in such news you can enter. That's when you enter quickly. You can even enter today's and make a quick buck. As for example, 12,350 call, ended up picking it up at 11, and now it is at 18.3. I've also got the ones of next week, so this week ones will already be pushed out immediately. And next week ones will be led to ride on with the profit stop also. Hindustan Unilever now. Hindustan Unilever, can see this. Side, I need this to go white. Like I don't like it in that color. Good profits. I'm out of those mid-cap Nifty which are expiring today, and the ones which are expiring next month. Those are gonna with the profits of now. Right, and see if it can end up cracking above this. It's now for Hindustan Unilever. Stocks which usually gap up like this. I'm going to end up putting HUL trades looks like also. Let's do HUL. HUL. HUL will be any trade in HUL who are putting naturally go to the next month's May series options. And when you open May series on TradingView, do not just click it in the sign Unilever. You have to go and select. I'll show it on this screen because I'm doing it on the other screen and no one will see. Now, basically, go to this and then click on the May series. So the May series opens. So you're not trading the May. That will ensure you're not trading the May series data, May series options using the April series data.
Okay, I found the Apple series date.
My other computer Siri wants to go off. Okay. Now HUL. Same in, let's say, for Kotak, for example. I will show it on the screen. It's on the other computer, so I'll have to turn the computer towards. For example, I've added the Hindustan Unilever. I'm only looking at the May series, not at the April series. I think it should now be visible. I'm basically going to now prepare for it because the fact that it had in April series a gap up, that's going to provide an opportunity in the May series, if however much it wants to rise. I look at it that way. So it's now I'm going to watch HUL. I'm not going to enter right now, but it's going to come a watching game, and at some point of the day, it's going to give me a good trade to execute. I said, look, the performer so far is only the mid cap, not these two. Why will I not chase this long in the Hindustan Unilever? Because this is based on retail excitement. Because the dividend announcement. This is most likely in the options you're not going to do that well. The risk is not, it's not a technical move. So intraday, you're going to get into an issue with it. Nifty is trying its level best. If it's able to clear this two weeks, then it will be going to try to test this. If it clears that, then it goes to 24,380, which is the quant level I had highlighted earlier. That's my view. Point on it. Not. After 2 minutes, sure. We see on the 2 minute, this is what is causing the stop over. And if you look at it, it's exactly at the zero line, the trend catcher. If this just pops above zero, this is going to pop and it's going to pop that way. Don't know why it's not showing on this time frame. Make it show now. Look, I had said this HUL up move is not based on solid technicals. You can see it's having a lot of noise, which you don't want when you're trading options. You don't want that noise. It's just a pain. You'd rather avoid this and let it develop the trade as the day goes along. You'll end up getting a good trade in HUL instead of trading this noisy part, which are going to drive your options completely nuts. So this is future and not the option chart. BNF is also starting to try to wake up there. Why these lines not appearing on this time frame of 2 minutes? Draw them again. Midcap Nifty, BNF, all seem to be up. Let's quickly switch to this other tab with the levels and then drop to 2 minutes. Midcap Nifty is giving good money. Midcap Nifty, if it clears this, it's going to be going to test 12,420. High likelihood of that happening. As I said from the beginning of the session, I've been saying Midcap Nifty's return is going to be the easiest to go up, and Nifty is going to be the easiest to go down, which means it's going to be the hardest to go up. Look, even Banknifty now trying to form the price bars, and the ones who have got my indicators and all can see what's going on in the chart, the interpretation of Banknifty on 2 minutes, and who are using my volume bars, and what things are indicating, and the trend catcher too. You can see what's happening in HUL, as I said, is the retail which are getting excited. HUL is giving the guys who went in a rush a bit of a surprise. Now, HUL, the next month's futures was trading. There's a critical support at 2,400 and then one at 2410, and then one at 2378. Before that, there is one support which is simple at 2419. Stock options, there for them, I end up using the 5-minute chart more as 2 and 3 minutes, unless you're trading something like Reliance, which has a very heavy liquidity level. Go to 5 minutes, it'll save you a lot of trouble. Hope it falls to the Nifty, Banknifty are still doing the dilly-dallying around. Midcap technically. Amount of option buys in all of them. I'll switch the tabs again. You can see what HUL is doing. So let's say the guys who went long here because of the dividend being announced, right now they'll be crying tears. As I said, there's one for May futures. These are not April numbers. These are May numbers. There's a critical support at exit that trade. At 2420 basically, then if it breaks that, then 2410, then 2375. Actual, this zone is very important to see how it handles. Now, like HUL, when I was talking about it and I entered option buys. Now, for example, I already have kept good profit stops on multiple strikes which I entered in HUL. So at most minimum, I'm going to walk away with a good packet because of this. You can see the beautiful fall happening. That's why I said when the results came out, do not go long in it. Because that was the excitement of retail. And they got suckered in. And most likely the guys who suckered them in are the news channels. They'll have been saying that, oh, HUL did this, HUL did that. They got suckered in and they're now getting smashed for it. Second. Hindustan Unilever is only down 0.5%, but because of it falling from the high, basically like the May future had done a high of 2504, now it's at 2420. I have a certain target more in mind, but I've kept a tight profit stop already because I don't want to lose the gains I've made. As basically it's a 2% short so far. short just captured 2% of the fall. So let's say if HL now was to drop 2% more, 3% more, that will give a 4%. You've got a 4% move, which in options will give you a very good profit. You see what's happening to HL. It's literally getting wrecked right now. It's nearly reached 2,410. It technically has, it made a low of 24112. If it breaks 2410, then the sucker is really going down. They put, let's say, one of the puts 2400, which was entered at 32. Now it's at 62.1. Good. Very good. Very good. This live trading actually gives you a clear view of how the whole game is played. Beautiful. Somehow there's been a real spike in the. I've entered multiple strikes naturally. I've entered from 2400 until 2260. And 2260 just had a huge spike, for some reason. 2260, 2280, and 2300. But I'm now going to start booking some profits because the profit is very juicy. So I don't want to hold it in. I believe those watching the live will have benefited. And this short will have given them more than necessary in terms of funds or return. Come on. I said 2410 is a strong. You can see what we're bouncing at that zone. Let's see if we can go further down. Now when I dropped, since I have booked part of the profits, I do still hold the Midcap Nifty long in the next month's thing. I don't hold anything in this month for option buy. That's also made good money. And I discussed about this earlier in the video. That's with the profit stop too. Everything is with profit stops. But HL option chain. And that's why I say the guys following open interest, they're getting cheated because anyone teaching on open interest is not really doing it, because you can create open interest. Let's say the position entered, create a certain amount of open interest in, let's say, 200-300 and below. Very good. Just take a bigger view. It's doing well. I hope it's relaying in the right amount of time, because here when I'm switching time frames, for some reason on the other screens, it's a tad bit slow. Oh, there you go. It switched. I will have to go and I'll have to have a talk with the internet service provider. As for some reason, the past few days, the internet has not been up to the 1 Gbps mark is meant to be providing. If it breaks 2375, 2350 is the next target. If it breaks 2410, that's it. It's a 2408. If it closes below it, then it'll be going towards that point. I believe everyone watching the live will have caught the Hindustan Unilever trade and will have avoided taking the first long, which would have given them a bad taste in their mouth. At 2410 support is holding for now. Let's see how long it can hold. That's why I ended up booking half the profits, as I knew this support can cause a bit of shaky. So it's better to take your gains before the shaky. You have entered a lot, like I said, I entered 2260 to 2400, literally all the strikes. Out of Midcap Nifty option buy also. Profit stop took me out. The benefit of profit stop, I was not watching Midcap Nifty, but it's ensured my gains are secure. For indexes, today is purely a day for what do you call this? Option sellers. Option buyers will make, but scalp money, not something fantastic. But some like Hindustan Unilever has compensated everyone who's watching. An option buy that will have given good money. Kotak is still a bit slow today. The brokers need to be penalized for any days when they're having the slowness. And I bet you write to Kotak right now, they will say, oh, it's not our issue. But I'm preferring to stick to Kotak because they're better than what Zerodha was doing. With Zerodha, I started seeing things missing from the account in small increments. HUL is moving further. I was checking which tab I'm sharing because I'm not sure which tab I'm sharing. Because when you start putting your trades, you get a bit distracted with the tabs. If you missed entering into the HUL short, do not now enter, because you should have entered when I started discussing it at this point. I had said well, avoid it at here, and this is the point when I said it's a short. So you'll have missed this full move, and you'll be entering at a support. Because I had said there's a strong support at 2410, and which is where we are right now dilly-dallying. I'm waiting to see if that breaks. That's why I booked half my gains here. If the Sun Unilever has broken the 2410 support and is going towards now the next there's a support between 2375 and 2380. Let's see how it handles that one. If it reaches that one. So now imagine the guys who bought when the results came out because of the dividend being declared at that high. Technically, they've lost more than the dividend gave them. And then the price has not yet been adjusted to a dividend, will be adjusted further. So they might never get that price back again. And I guarantee you the main culprit behind that must have been the news channels. Telling bye, 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 Hindustan Unilever. And now let's say this sharp fall which has happened, I can guarantee you people who lost in it in the end of the trading session will be blaming Jane Street. While you can see we traded live. And here, in fact, Hindustan Unilever is a perfect example of how my indicators work. If we look at this short now, let me explain it better. This is the first point here. Now we can see the trend catcher flipped here. So that is why I said once this candle was done, I said it's a short. The trend catcher had flipped. It was clean, wide open, and the black line was below red. So it was a clean shot. Then the next bar, also the second trend catcher flipped. And we can see after that, the volume buildup just kept on going worse, which shows that the short has to continue. And then this volume bars also appeared, which showed that there is strength in this move. And that is how the indicators are working. And let's say anybody who, even if I was not doing live, the guys who have subscribed to these indicators and are using them from a while, they would have caught this short simply because trend catcher 1, trend catcher 2, volume buildup, volume bars. I don't add a mistake. As I said, I said in the morning, avoid heavy option buying, focus on option selling for indexes. We can see we ended up getting an option buy money from a stock in the Sun Unilever. And now I don't know till when I'll run this stream, but if I run it till the latter part of the day, then at least 1-2 more stock option buys will appear, and it will be same. I will open them. If the indicator is giving the signal, short it and take the short until that. Now, Hindustan Unilever has nearly reached the 2375 to 2380 zone. So now your option should be in a very, very, very healthy profit. As I said, entered at 32, now it's 75 trading, 2400 put, 2260 put. This is next, entered at 12, is now at 24. If you're watching live, I'm pretty sure you're very happy now with the profits. Indexes are not giving any move for option buyers. Apart from Midcap Nifty gave a scalp. Beyond that, nothing. Also, all the ones watching the video, do hit a like on the video, whether you're watching on Twitter or you're watching on YouTube. There's another short I went to, but I'm not mentioning that because it's very high risk. And everybody has made their money off Hindustan Unilever, so I don't want them to take high risk shorts because I am only risking 10% of the profit made in Hindustan Unilever. Even the 2 to 60p is now at 25 from entry of 12. Perfect. And 2400p, 70. We basically touched the, if you look at this price bar, I'm sorry, because I keep looking, I'm looking at also another screen. We touched 2379, we entered the 2375 to 2380 zone and then sort of held there. And now we're going to hold the mantle and see if we want to go below that. If we break this zone, we're going to 2350. So, and that means already anybody who has shorted with me has captured for 4% short in Hindustan Unilever. If it goes to that point, you'll capture about 6% short. Option buying, you can't ask for something better than that. A 4% short, not many option buyers cash in today. And I know one question will be on people's mind, why am I not doing a long? I don't want to do a long in this market right now. I know things are going up, but for me, I think if I'm doing stocks, I'm safer with shorts, and shorts end up giving more money than longs generally in every market. As let's say to rise, you can see how much struggle there was. To fall, there is no struggle. If we break this price bar, let me draw it by a line. Others, someone might say I'm not drawing by a line. Then we're going further down. 2375 is the end of the support range. Break that 2350 can be hit in this session. We'll reach there when we're going towards 2375. If you want more trades like this, then do join the service and you'll be getting on positional good trades. And in fact, the guys positional managed to survive this fall because I refused to enter. And now they realize it was a wise choice for me to tell everyone step out. 2400 is at 80 and 2 to 60, because I'm doing the full range, is at 26. We have broken 2375, going towards 2350. 2351 to be precise. It's a good. I'm going to book another 20% of the position. So basically, at 2400 to 2410, I booked part of the position. Now I'm booking another part. So along the way, I'm taking away my gains. So today has been a good day for intraday shorting, not in the index, but in stocks. And also, if you pay attention, let me open the Hindustan Unilever chart full. 2351 is a quant support. But now when I'm looking at it on a bigger time frame, it's also at 2361 to 2357. There is a simple candle support. Look, we are at a perfect shot. Which tab am I on? This tab. From an option expiry trading thing, we've gone to a stock trading thing. Option buy, option sell is still option expiry. Those PCs, as I shared, are still doing very well. Another short I had said I had entered, that was time moving perfectly too. Why I'm only sharing Hindustan Unilever short, because we entered that together and I don't want to split thing too much. The earnings season, you get very many trades like this, which we're doing intraday. The other one has really moved. Very good profits. HUL now 2363, it has reached, it's not far from 2351. Well, I hope all who have did the HUL short with me have booked part of the profits. At least 50% you should have booked by now. I booked 60%, I would say. 65% of the profits. Why? Because it was a very big position. As I had said, I entered from 2400 to 2260 of May series. Going along with that. We can see HUL is trying to find its footing now. And that's why I was saying book some profits. Well, whatever it is, everyone should have at least captured, who shorted with me should have at least captured 3 to 4% of the move, which is good money. Okay. I just realized I'm looking at a different tab and I'm showing a different tab. I can't see this. Good money. Also, the CEP cells of Nifty. Keep a profit stop on those as we might get a sudden move. In fact, the other option position which I had said I'd open, which was very high risk, was a mid-cap Nifty short, an option buy. I said I'm shared, since everyone's holding the Hindustan Unilever short, I don't want to share the next short as it will overstretch everyone. It was a mid-cap Nifty, basically at the top. Why am I focusing more on stock shorts? Also, is the day I've noticed the index is gap up or gap down. Usually, a lot of the option move, like what I said at the beginning of the day, is killed. So then you better hope that stocks move intraday, and that will give you the return. The 2400 PE is now on Hindustan Unilever is at 87 and 2260 is at 28. Very beautiful move. And all caught thanks to this. And in fact, even for the mid-cap Nifty, why did I short? If we look at my indicator again, let me open the indicator on the mid-cap Nifty on full. Now, if you look, short reason one was we were hovering at the resistance, but then when we come to my indicators, basically at this point, a bearish crossover was done in this trend catcher, then also in this trend catcher. So double confirmation. And then after that, I pumped up the short as we went along, as the volume build up, started also confirming the short further. As more confirmations came, I pumped it up more. Hindustan Unilever is now a stone's throw away from the 2351 support. It's down 3% from being up. Basically, it had a high of 2504 and now has a low of 2357. That's a short which was caught. That's why everybody who's watching the live, I advise you to join, because you're going to make money in the end of the day. Midcap Nifty profits up has taken me out of half my short with the profits. Today, indexes are purely option sellers. They're not an option buy. Option buy, you're going to make profits, but like you'll have to take risky trades like the one which I took. Yeah. I know one question will be, why did I enter Hindustan Unilever puts of today? Kotak wouldn't allow you to do that. And option buying is just specifically do through them. If 2350 breaks, 2326 is the next target. 2326. We have reached 2351 on Hindustan Unilever short. 2260 put is now at 31 from 12 entry, and 2400 is at 92 from 32 entry. Everybody should be having similar numbers if you're watching the live constantly. And you can see the short which we caught. It's from literally roughly 2450 to straight down here. It's a beauty of a shot. Now you can see the trend catcher. This is the fast one, it's the slow one. The slow one is starting to like squeeze in, and we are Hindustan Unilever is 3.4% down. It's matching what, so it's sort of starting to, the selling pressure is starting to ease for the day on Hindustan Unilever. That's why I've been saying book profits, because you want to take your biggest chunk of profits before it eases fully. But I said if 2351 breaks, we can go to 2326. Very good profits from Hindustan Unilever. Why am I going to 4 minutes and shorter time frame? You can see what's happening on the trend catcher. Yeah, and you can see the slowdown. This is happening. You can see 2351, we are holding that zone very nicely. I said that's a very important support. And if we close below 2351 on the daily chart, or basically not daily outside, let's say hourly and above, it's not a good sign for Hindustan Unilever. 2351 broken on Hindustan Unilever. Will we reach 2326? That will be a bumper day. Profits. Big question, 2326, are we touching it or not? If you have not booked profits, please book the profits. Part of them at least. I said part of Midcap Nifty was booked. Part is still there. That one seems to be waking up. HUL, come on, let's touch 2326 and give us a nearly 6% shot. More than 6, actually like 6.3, 6.4. Come on. And this live is an example why you should not only focus on the indexes. For example, I'm trading the indexes, trading the stock, and also there's so many messages I'm sending clients which you cannot see. You have to try to put them on a multitasking thing. Let us switch to, in fact, the other time frame. I need the levels on so everyone can see. Looks like Hindustan Unilever is going to 326, catching the full shot. End of day, I can guarantee you people will say Jane Street influence Hindustan Unilever. Everyone watching live can see Jane Street not influence. It was a clean, easy trade. This is why Hindustan Unilever is why I've given two indicators. You can see the fast trend catcher, which is more for 2 minutes and below, has gone and sort of bottomed out, but this one is still going on. Why I've switched to this tab and basically how the indexes are looking is slightly dangerous. Midcap Nifty PE cells are doing very well. No, it's not PE cells, PE buy. P cells, I'm out of them, a good chunk, because the profit stops hit. That's why I say use profit stops, as it lets you exit when you're not focusing on that thing, and you can end up entering multiple other trades. Now, Midcap Nifty, cannot show that way on the chart how I'm looking at it. Now, Midcap Nifty, where is Midcap Nifty? I need to calculate some levels for it. Intraday. Now, if it breaks the current support range roughly here, can take us to 12,266, and that breaks 12,200. 12,200 breaks, then we go to the 12,120 support. The Sun Unilever is putting a fight back at this point. I guarantee you what is going on right now in the Hindustan Unilever. The guys who went long in equity here, they'll be adding more here, thinking they're going to average. So by chance, if these indexes decide to drop, these guys are then going to get completely smashed, going to take it further down, and because they're going to sell and panic, and that's going to hammer Hindustan Unilever more. Because right now it's hammering from plus 2% to minus 3.6. That will take it to hammering to literally minus 5, minus 6%. So that is why it has slowed down here. This is these lot coming in, and I guarantee if you open either CNBC or Z Business or any TV Profit, they will be saying the Hindustan Unilever at this price is a good opportunity to buy it, a good opportunity to buy it. I agree they've given a good dividend, but you can buy it for the dividend. Dividend ex-dividend date is not yet, it has not yet been reached. So you can buy it before the ex-dividend date at a better price and get the dividend and also profit from, get it at a better entry if you want to do equity. That's how I look at it. Nifty levels. Nifty levels is basically that support at 24,180 is there, but before that, there is now a support appearing at 24,220. I believe the people watching this live, most are watching on X, on Twitter, they'll be very happy with the profits they've made. And I do hope to make the wise decision of joining the service, because they'll end up making much more than they are making in a single day here, watching the live. All is static, what I said. Hindustan Unilever update, 2400 put, which I had entered, is now at 96. The 2260 put, which I had also entered, is at 33. So all of you who traded, you should be having similar numbers and should be doing very well today. I think HUL wants to touch 2326, because these indexes, if they start going down faster, they're going to make the thing go down harder to. Because I said this slowdown was because of these characters trying to buy more. So let's say if they bought 1 lakh worth here, they might add 50,000 here. So now they're going to lose on 1 lakh 50. I'm on the 4 minute. I need to be on the 3 minute time frame. Better. HUL. Okay, now once we reach 2326, the big question, if it breaks 2326, what's next? If it breaks 2326, then next it will be which will reorganize the bearings of the guys who went long. Will be the 2298, which even I wouldn't want it to fall that far. That will be painful for the guys holding it. That will wreck the portfolios in a day. Well, the big question, when will it turn? This is the best example. Look, this shows that the selling pressure is reduced, but this volume buildup now has to stop being so bearish. Basically, if we take a look at the volume buildup on a maximized pane, this background, which is showing darker, that's the only bullish volume left. All this is bearish. So that has to improve, and that is when Hindustan Unilever will bottom for the day. And those wanting to get access to these indicators, contact the number 6361-196-118 on WhatsApp, and someone will guide you on how you can pay and subscribe to the indicators. Very good profits today. Everyone has seen it happen, how it happens live. Tuesday live was a profitable session, what was guided. Today is a very big profitable session because of HUL, for the option buying. And this is where I disagree that option buyers are gambling, because if you do option buying with a strategy, you will end up making a good return, more than option selling can ever give. But I do both, because option buying you can allocate less money simply because of the amount of volatility that comes at times. You will not be able to handle it with a higher sort of funds. booked more of Hindustan Unilever. That was the tip sound. So let's see how things go. I booked more, so now I'm holding roughly only 15% of the original volume. I've done so as HUL is now down 4%. We are not far from that. We first broke 2410 supports, then 2380 to 2375, then 2351. Now we're not far from 2326. So that's why I chose to withdraw slightly. As we've captured such a big shot, so HUL is climaxing. That's a big shot caught in HUL. Another basically bit of HUL has just been booked out by the profit stop. So now I'm holding only 5% of the original volume. That one will be with a more relaxed profit stop because most of them has been booked out. Now I wouldn't bother chasing an option buy trade and you made the money, and now you're taking risk for no reasons. Coming to the indexes, since HL is a small, only tiny position left, I'm going to reduce its importance there. Put this. Nifty is still technically within the range of its opening candle. Banknifty is technically within the same range. Midcap Nifty is in the exact same range. For Midcap Nifty, people saw long and short. Yeah. A very good profit day for all those who are watching the live. I believe it has been made worth your while to watch the live. CEP cells are working, option buys are working, all is doing well. And we can see again, Hindustan Unilever, the effect of the trend catcher. The indicator. This one did a turn at this point. And that's a fast one, so you're meant to use it basically 2 minutes. But this one below is meant to be used, let's say 5 minutes and above. And let's say we look at it, I'm looking on the 4-minute time frame. It bottomed out here and it formed a bottom, and we can see what has happened. And I said the volume has to start coming. You can see the green volume in the background from here has come up to here. That's why a fight back is happening. If it manages to supersede the red, things will go up. But I'm not going to chase it now because of only simply I have made the return, and that will be a noisy move. It won't be, risk will be much more than what the risk was in this fall. And I don't like trading longs that much in options. I try to like trading shorts. As falls are fast and rises are very slow and painful. So the short will only open if we break this low and the volume buildup goes back in the gutter. Well, as I said, I've only got 5% of the retail position now. No option buy short. This HUL, the other bit has just been booked. Now I hold no short in by option buy in any stock or even the index. Midcap Nifty is booked. Only the option sells, and now I'm going to take it slow for. I think because you said you made the gain unless Midcap Nifty breaks this range or Nifty breaks this range. I'm not going to go aggressive. Don't see the need to scalp, but you're just taking risk for no reason. I've never watched someone on X Live, but it seems people prefer X Live over YouTube Live. So total now, since we are full out of HUL, total the HUL short gave in terms of percentage, we managed to catch as a short. But let's just calculate that from this price bar to roughly here. 5.33%. Very good short we got. People would ask why I didn't go here because my indicator didn't indicate. I want the confirmation on the chart. This confirmation came here, but then I want my indicator to confirm. Only then I will execute the trade. So the indicators have been built for that specific reason, and the one people using them know the efficacy, that they're very good at doing their job. So if you follow the lead, at least 80% of the time, they'll give you good money. Now this is option selling market for indexes. They're not getting a move up or down. So I will close the live for today. I hope all had a good time. As anyone who traded with me will have made a good amount of profit. And I hope all caught the big Hindustan Unilever shot, and now everyone has entered the C and P cells which I highlighted and are making, but they will be making money because I've entered the same ones. And I can see the decay has given money. So that's it for today's live stream. See you in the next expiry. As I'll be doing live streams mainly on expiry days. Some other days I might come on for live stream, but live stream will mainly focus on expiries. Thank you.